So now we're going to talk about possible straps for the bag. So in the written instructions, there's talk about using either your webbing as your tab carriers if you're going to have an adjustable strap, or putting some of the strap that you've made into 8 centimetre length strips to be the tab carriers. So a tab carrier is approximately 8 centimetres long and 2.5 centimetres wide, whether that's your webbing, which does come in different widths, but this is a 2.5 centimetre one, or whether you've done your kind of folded in strap, which is in the video for the peekaboo bag. So what we're doing is, if you want to have an adjustable strap, uses these, it will be using 2 D rings or O rings. I've just got O rings here, and a slider. But all we need to attach to the bag to start with, rather than the whole strap, is just these carriers. So we cut these to 8 centimetres, and they are just going to get popped into the D ring or the O ring, and they are going to get attached on the join of the outside of the bag in the middle, hanging downwards like that. So they'll get attached there and sewn like the flap close to the edge, 0.5 centimetre down. So that's if you do want to have a strap that's adjustable. The other option is, if you don't want to have a strap that's adjustable, you can just cut your webbing or your strap to length, and that'll just get attached hanging down on each side of the outer bag. Just make sure that it's not twisted. It will just get stitched hanging downwards like this, and that to the length that you want it, perhaps 1.20 meters, 1.50 meters. Just check it over your own body, crossed over the strap, or with a tape measure, so you can get it to be the right length that you want it to be for you. So that's how to do it if you're not going to make these tab carriers. Like I said, if you've got your webbing already, it's just a case of cutting it down. If you're using this polypropylene webbing, which has got the plastic in it, you can see this is already fraying. So an important thing to do with this, first of all, is singe and melt the edges. So you can get special tools that do this, or just it does it with heat. So the flame doesn't need to touch it, but you're just melting the very edge of the strap like this here. You can see that's been fused, so it doesn't all start to unravel once you start to use your bag. If you are making a strap of your own fabric, like I said, we're cutting it about 10 centimetres wide, which means that when we do the fold-in straps of folding wrong sides together and then into that centre crease from both edges and over again, you'll end up with a strap that's about 2.5 centimetres wide, the same as this. If you do want to have it a bit wider and you've got a slightly wider slider here, and you might want to make it more like about 4 centimetres wide, you will want to cut a strap that's more like about 15 centimetres wide, so you've got a wider one. And like I said, again, you can get the webbing in a wider width as well. So if you don't want as narrow a strap as 2.5 centimetres, instead of 10, go for about 15 wide, by the length that you want it to be. And once you've made it, the idea was that we'd cut off from that the tab carriers. So that's something, just so you've made it all at once and then can cut it down. So it might be worth the length of your strap, if you want it to be 120, and you are going to have the tab carriers, you'll need to add on another 8 and another 8 for the 2 sides, so another 16 centimetres. So you'll be looking at cutting your strap to about 136 centimetres. Always just better to go that little bit longer. So our first step with the tab carriers, like I said, I've talked through attaching your strap if it's not going to be adjustable, which is how you may have made bags before that just get attached. These tab carriers, I'll attach both of these down either side. So I'll put another one there at 8 centimetres. It through my O-rings. These are really quite large for this, but this is what I've got to hand to show you. And then again, just attach those in place, hanging downwards, the same as the flap there at the back, and then that's how it will look when they're done. So I've now sewn the tab carriers, the 8cm tab carriers that I've done in webbing, hanging down, raw edge to the raw edge of the bag, hanging down. And as I said, if you've done those in fabric, you do the same. Your 8cm ones length fabric straps that you'll have made, you'll have folded this little tab of it over your D or your O-ring and match up the raw edge. You don't need to tuck in the raw edge, even if it's the fabric as well. And if you want to have it as a continuous strap rather than adjustable, like I just mentioned before, you do the same of matching up the whole of the strap hanging down either side, and then the rest of the length of it just hanging down like that. But if you're having an adjustable strap, your extra bit of strap, we're just keeping to the side for now. We don't need that till the very end. We'll actually attach the bag before we do that. So that's our step to get the tab carriers on. The next thing to do will be sewing the outer bag to the lining. So I'll do that in another video, and we'll talk about